a profound sense of unresolved questions continues surround the death of a 17-year-old Latvian girl, whose case appears intersect with allegations of human trafficking, privileged access royal estates, and systemic institutional failures. Her body was discovered by a dog walker on royal ground at the Sandringham estate on January 2012, marking a grim start the year. The victim, identified as Alisa Dimitrieva from Latvia, was found in a state of decomposition so severe that her thigh bone required multiple grinding procedures for identification. She was last seen on August 31, 2011, with her death estimated have occurred between that date and the end of the year. Her family reported her missing on September 6, a delay noted as an unusual circumstance. Toxicology reports indicated no presence of drugs or alcohol in her system at the time of her death. Information has emerged detailing shooting parties held at Sandringham by Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, reportedly attended by Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. A newly published book by Robert Jobson alleges that these events were not typical gatherings, describing party bags containing drugs and condoms, and the locations being left in disarray. Latvia has been identified as a significant trafficking pipeline for Jeffrey Epstein and Jean-Luc Brunel, with emails reportedly showing Brunel and Epstein discussing the ease of recruiting Latvian girls due their lack of visa requirements. It is claimed that a preference existed among certain high-net-worth individuals for Eastern European girls, perceived as more susceptible manipulation due language barriers. Alisa Dimitrijeva's profile reportedly aligns with the description of girls trafficked by Epstein and Maxwell. Epstein's private aircraft, known as the Lolita Express, reportedly landed at RAF Marham, an airbase located near Sandringham. Whistleblowers have alleged that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor facilitated these landings, leading assumptions that trafficked girls and women were on board. Testimonies from former protection officers, including Paul Page, indicate that no official records were maintained regarding the movement of women in and out of royal palaces. Page stated he was explicitly prohibited from requesting identification from these women or logging their entries and exits. Ghislaine Maxwell, notably, did not require a pass-access Buckingham Palace, reportedly driving in and out in a blacked-out vehicle, with the contents of the car remaining unknown security personnel. This practice stands in stark contrast established security protocols, which mandate that even senior royal aides present identification for every entry to prevent illicit access. Questions have been raised regarding who might have withheld this information from the late monarch, suggesting either her awareness, which is considered uncharacteristic, or a deliberate concealment by those in positions of authority. Following the public disclosure of Alisa's death, a concerted media campaign reportedly commenced, aiming to discredit her character. This coverage, appearing at a time when mainstream media held substantial influence and could collaborate closely with those seeking control narratives, portrayed her as a drug addict and a troubled individual with significant drug debts and Eastern European criminal group. This narrative has been described as overly manufactured, considering Alisa was a 17-year-old girl who had not yet begun college and possessed no prior history of legal issues. A singular image of her available online, depicting her in high heels and a short skirt, has been noted as resembling the type of photograph that might have been sent Jean-Luc Brunel's modeling agency. The conduct of the subsequent investigation has prompted significant concerns. Alisa was last observed in King's Lynn on August 31, 2011. 2 men were arrested in connection with the case. The woman accompanying Alisa at the time claimed they were dropping her off at a supermarket, a statement reportedly contradicted by CCTV footage. Fibers matching Alisa's bra and hair were discovered in the boot of a green Lexus car associated with the suspects. This vehicle was later sent a scrapyard. A source within the police secret has claimed that this Lexus was an undercover police vehicle, a practice not uncommon given that Lexus cars were frequently employed for covert intelligence operations, and police often utilize vehicles seized from criminals for undercover work. If accurate, this raises serious questions regarding the policy's stated mission: protect the public. At the time of these events, Keir Starmer served as the head of the Crown Prosecution Service (CPS). The CPS ultimately concluded that there was insufficient evidence to pursue a prosecution. The 2 suspects were subsequently permitted leave the country and reportedly never returned to provide evidence. The victim's mother later issued a statement expressing gratitude to the government, despite the absence of any convictions for her daughter's death. One source has suggested that the family was taken care of by the government, an assertion offered as a potential explanation for the mother's expression of thanks and administration that had seemingly failed to identify her daughter's killer. The suspicion of a potential cover-up in this case remains a significant point of concern. Attempts to conduct independent inquiries in the case have reportedly encountered hostility and obstruction. Freedom of information requests initiated by former police contacts were blocked. One such contact reportedly received a phone call warning him cease his investigations and has not been heard from since, allegedly fearing for his police pension. Similar threats and resistance have been reported by others investigating the Mountbatten connection, including writer Andrew Loney, who faced repeated threats after making freedom of information requests. The dog walker who discovered Elisa's body is no longer living, and the victim's mother reportedly does not respond to contact attempts. A former suspect has maintained his innocence, claiming he was wrongly implicated, contributing the sense that avenues of inquiry are being systematically closed. Several former police officers from disparate regions of the country have independently advised extreme caution regarding this investigation, recommending the use of burner phones. The consistent message conveyed investigators through intermediaries is disengage from the SRI. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor concluded his role as a trade envoy in July 2011. Elisa Dmitrieva went missing between August 30th and September 1, 2011. There are no records detailing Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's whereabouts between August 31 and September 6. Sandringham is a highly secure location, with protection officers and police, both overt and covert, patrolling its perimeter. The notion that individuals could commit a murder, transport a body, and conceal it within woods used for royal game shooting without detection is considered highly improbable. The explanation that the suspects simply became lost has been dismissed as implausible. Elisa's phone ceased functioning at Snettisham Beach, an area not far from Sandringham, where she had attended a party, and the suspect's account cannot be corroborated. The discovery of her body on royal land was reportedly made public only because the dog walker alerted authorities otherwise. It is suggested the incident might have been suppressed entirely. When viewed within a broader context, the number of unanswered questions intensifies. The royal establishment has a documented history of utilizing its influence to discredit accusers. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor reportedly used the BBC undermine Virginia Giuffre's credibility, attempting to portray her as motivated by fame and unreliable. Sarah Ferguson appeared on CBS in 2015, also seeking discredit Virginia Giuffre and characterize her as financially opportunistic. Both instances demonstrate a pattern of using public platforms to undermine a victim's credibility, suggesting a consistent approach that could be applied to the case of a deceased 17-year-old girl. While efforts may focus primarily on Andrew, the systemic nature of the alleged issues is emphasized. Many staff members who previously worked for Andrew are now employed by King Charles. Their potential testimony regarding awareness of illegal activities could significantly damage the monarch's reputation. The scale of potential criminal facilitation indicated suggests a deeply embedded issue, rather than isolated incidents involving a few individuals. The Epstein files reportedly contain further disturbing details. Emails within these documents describe an exchange involving Bitcoin for evidence, referencing Matthew Mellon, who was married Jimmy Choo founder Tamara Mellon. This exchange reportedly yielded written proof of bodies buried at the Zorro Ranch and evidence of child abuse shred on a hard drive. While Mellon was not specifically named in connection with abuse, his inclusion in this chain of communication raises serious questions. Epstein and his associates reportedly employed coded language, referring fish farms for recruiting women, and Brunel spoke of pretty things in Latvia bring over. Noting the ease of entry due lack of visa requirements, the perceived complicity extends beyond the royal household. The appointment of Peter Mandelson by Keir Starmer, despite Mandelson's widely known association with Epstein's Island, suggests as a willingness to disregard significant risks. This situation is interpreted as either indicative of a deliberate cover-up or a demonstration of an individual so deeply embedded within the elite establishment that they are unwilling to investigate their peers. There is a belief that those at the apex of the power structure do not prioritise the welfare of British children. This perspective is supported by the alleged failure adequately address the grooming gang scandal, with the media reportedly selectively suppressing such as an allegation that a victim was trafficked in and out of the Houses of Parliament, which appeared on an Easter weekend and was reportedly removed by the following Monday. Individuals who speak out against corruption within elite circles or child abuse, such as Maggie Oliver and Sammy Woodhouse, reportedly face systemic efforts undermine their lives. The very frameworks designed to safeguard the public are perceived by some as primarily serving the interests of a select few. Further questions arise concerning Caroline Clark, who served as Andrew's equerry during his tenure as a trade envoy. She is believed to possess potentially significant information, yet her whereabouts and current status remain unknown. It is considered highly improbable that she witnessed nothing, given her proximity to Andrew during the period when much of the alleged conduct occurred. Furthermore, Caroline Clark and Andrew were reportedly the only members of the royal household and family who did not pursue phone hacking claims, foregoing approximately £500,000 each. The only logical reason decline such a substantial sum would be avoid the disclosure process that acceptance would necessitate. The central fact remains the unexplained death of a 17-year-old girl, found partially clothed and decomposed on the Sandringham estate, who never had the opportunity to begin her adult life. The available evidence strongly suggests some form of cover-up. Justice has not been delivered in this case. A renewed investigation by Norfolk Police involving a comprehensive audit trail is considered essential. The principle that universal safety is predicated on the safety of all individuals is invoked. Anyone possessing information relevant to this case is urged to come forward. Given that a young girl's reputation has been tarnished, and the possibility persists that a perpetrator remains at large, potentially shielded by a pervasive network of institutional failures encompassing law enforcement, government, and the royal family.